you tell your wife when you come over to get bent over? You know? Hey, cousins, I'm back. It's David Alexander. I'm a psychology student trying to heal, a model trying to age, and I just really want y'all to stop believing in these TikTok advice. Everybody's not a therapist. Stop listening to advice from people who are not professionals. All right. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna tell you 5 different things that I feel like we need to leave in 2025. We got 5 things that I personally learned in 2025. And then we got 6 things I think that we should do or continue to take into 2026. Yeah, that's where we are. Okay. So I'm going to start with this. The 5 things we should keep in 2025 are DL men, Crocs, therapy talk from non-professionals, self-care as a form of running, and your old self. We're going to leave all that at it in 2025. But let me expand on that a little bit. The DL man thing is literally a one-sided thing. DL men don't know I exist except for the ones that do know I exist, but that doesn't matter. I feel like we're in this space, at least I am, in this space of life of, I don't think that I understand why people are DL at times, based on like lifestyle, where you grew up, all these different things, right? I'm not here to shame DL men. I am encouraging DL men to understand that it's completely okay to live your truth. That is it. That's it. That's all. Cut, dry, paste, all the things, right? But I do have a secret one-sided beef with DL men that only I have. No one else has it. I don't know if you have it. If you do, please let me know. But I am literally by myself. Anytime I hear stories and my friends are telling me about DL men, I'm always like, why though? But why? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get it. I don't get it. But I get it. I'm 35 now. But 24-year-old David may have had a run-in or several with a DL man, right? And I'll talk about this one moment that I had. And I remember I had this. I'm laughing, y'all, because it's funny now. Hindsight is always 2020. But I was dealing with this guy. And short version is he was married. I'm gonna just say we used to work at a previous company together. Because I don't need nobody. I ain't trying to out nobody, right? And one day he came over, and I don't know, my moral code got like super solid around like 25, 26-ish, I want to say. Nah, I'm like maybe like 27, 28. Somewhere around there, I was like, this is wrong. And I remember one day I was like, what do you tell your wife when you come over to get bent over? And he was like, you ain't much better than me. I said, I know, I've never claimed to be worth much more than 2 nickels rubbed together. However, I also didn't take vows to love and cherish somebody. I was like, if that lady want to leave you, she can. He like, she can't leave me. I'm a good man. I was like, but you're not, and you married her under false pretenses. She's under the impression that she's getting a straight man, and you are not that. And nor have you shared with her that you like more than just what she's provided to you. So that is my short story of me. That is when I started having this beef with DL men, and I stand on it. Okay? 10 toes down, I stand on it. Because I want people to live their truth. I want people to be happy, but not at the risk of hurting other people if you don't have to. And I think being DL is hurting people unnecessarily. You don't got to do that, player. People gonna love you in the light, Okay, number 2. Another one-sided beef is me and Crocs. How do I say this? I don't like Crocs. I've not ever liked Crocs. I understand that they are comfortable. I hear it all the time. But why are y'all wearing them outside to the grocery stores? People are wearing them, think that they can wear them fashionably. There is no fashionable way to wear Crocs. They were not designed for that. And I'm sick of it. No shade to Crocs, because y'all clearly making y'all money, doing y'all thing. The branding, people love it. But I don't understand when Crocs became things to wear out in the real world. They are ugly. They will always be ugly to me. Well, always is a strong word. I feel like I don't think it'll ever change for me. It's possible, but I've not liked Crocs from day one and still don't like them. And now y'all bejeweling them and adding tassels and things to them. Just stop it. Leave those in 2025. Don't bring that into your 2026. We're trying to be better. Okay? Then this one is actually a little bit more serious, y'all. Number three. Number three is therapy talk from non-professionals. That's why I started this episode reminding people that I'm a psychology student, right? That doesn't make me a professional, doesn't make me an expert, but it means that I have some additional knowledge outside of just random things that I've heard from other people. Because if I hear narcissist one more time, if I hear gaslighting one more time, or anything that you hear a therapist say, and you use it in everyday conversation like you understand the full context of what it means, let me look me in the face. Look me in the face and listen to me when I say, you're using it wrong. Okay? Because what you learn in psychology or anything within the realm of mental health, you learn that multiple things can be true at the same time while something is completely not true. I'm watching millions of people talk about my ex was a narcissist, my ex was a narcissist, my ex was a narcissist. No, your ex is just selfish, my dear. And the thing is, a lot of narcissistic traits show up in other type of personalities, right? Like extreme selfishness, using people, right? Fun fact, just if you've never known this, let me give you a really, really fun fact about narcissists. Narcissist is something that one must be diagnosed with by a psychologist because it is also on the level and spectrum of a personality disorder. So y'all out here falsely calling people narcissists is actually very, very harmful. Using language that you hear a professional use in everyday conversation and not using it in the proper context is harmful. Hear me when I say it. It's harmful, y'all. And we must do better, especially because we're in an era and age where therapy is talked about regularly. We are open to therapy in ways now that our parents and grandparents and great grandparents weren't. So with that, I love that we're trying to bring the conversation to everyday life, but leave your therapy sessions between you and your therapist. The same way that they keep their sessions between the two of y'all with them and maybe another professional, guide, great. But stop doing that, okay? Leave that between you and them. So my therapist, I love her down. Shout out. Sherry, you my girl. My sessions with her and I are before her and I. I may repeat something that she says, but it is not everyday conversation. I'm like, my therapist like, if my therapist were to say you're a great person, I don't go around saying my therapist said I'm great. Girl, shut up. Because that's not how it works. Your sessions are designed for continuous growth, continuous evolution, right? And y'all decided to just bring that into a space that it shouldn't be. Okay? So number 4 of things I want to keep in 2025. Self-care as a form of running. Again, we are in this era where therapy is so welcome and we talk about self-care, but self-care, a lot of people like, I'm putting myself first. It's self-care. But people like, do you use self-care as a form to run away from people, to block people out, to hold people back because you say you're protecting your peace and you continue to say protecting your peace is a form of self-care? And it can be. But a lot of the ways that I believe I'm hearing and seeing people use it is a way to continue to push people away, continue to not be uncomfortable. What you learn in therapy is that you're going to be uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable because you're changing old patterns. You're changing old ways. And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird. Imagine how, strange analogy just came up with. Imagine being a piece of cheese and having to go from being a solid slice of cheese or brick of cheese into the melted form. You can't think about that from a human perspective. That has to be uncomfortable. But guess what? The end result is great, right? We love a good rotel. So thinking of yourself as a block of cheese, right? And be okay with the uncomfortable because it's there for a reason. It's there on purpose. Number 5. This one's gonna be really, really short, y'all. 5 is Leave your old self in 2025. Okay? It is okay that you are no longer the person that used to get angry. It's okay you're not the person that used to be overly giving. It's okay that you've changed and become a different person. It's okay. Yeah? It's really okay. And I really want you to know that. Okay? Now, the other part of this is 5 things I've personally learned in 2025. Y'all about to be in my business today, as per usual. That's 5. So number 1, 5 things I've learned. The first one being, my exes aren't bad people. Now, I think it's important to say that because I hear people talk about their exes and their past situations, and they speak about it with such negative feelings and negative emotions. Let me be very clear. I've been in some crazy relationships. I've been cheated on. I dated a drug addict on accident. Yes, it was accident. I didn't realize that he was an addict, right? I discovered it through being with him, but he managed it, air quote, managed it so well that you wouldn't know, right? But none of those things make my exes bad people, whether they cheated on me, whether I cheated on them. That doesn't make me a bad person. I've learned that forgiveness is understanding that people are just people. Mistakes happen, and that's okay. And everybody's not meant to be with each other. We meet somebody, and you think the person you think is cute, or they think you cute, or y'all think each other are attractive, and then y'all feel like y'all got to be together. People are like, I ain't got no more situationships in me, but you do, and you should. Dating is literally saying no to the wrong people faster, so you can say yes to the right person, right? And sometimes saying yes to the right person may be doubling back to somebody you already said no to, and realizing that who you are now and who they are now actually does make sense, because people what? Grow, evolve, change. And we got to let them. And we got to let ourselves do the same. Okay? Number 2 is really important. Give yourself grace is what I've learned to do in 2025. Because I learned that growth isn't sudden. Like, I feel like we watch TV shows and movies, and sometimes people just have these aha moments. They wake up and they realize they want to be a mother. They wake up and they realize they want to be a counselor. They wake up and realize they want to be a comedian, and life just starts to make sense. My personal journey has not been that way. Okay? Every time I look up, I can look up right now on this day and be like, there was a time this time last year where my life was completely different, right? Where I didn't have a job, or I didn't have idea what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. And well, I did, but he wasn't realized yet. He was forming, but he hadn't been realized. And then I realized that growth is slow. It takes time. I started this self-identity journey when I was like 14 or 15. And a lot of us don't get the chance or privilege to do that at such an early age. As Black people, I think a lot of us don't really start doing the self-discovery until we leave our parents' house, which is a whole nother conversation for another day, but you get my point. But I learned that growth isn't sudden. It takes time. I also learned that for me in 2025, finding ways to ground myself is necessary. So my way of grounding myself every day is I do yoga, meditation, or stretching, and I try to work out 4 to 5 times a week. If I miss those things, I realize that my day turns into complete total shit. It's devastating, life-shattering, life-altering crap days, right? Like, the day may be okay, but the moment of conflict or something uncomfortable comes up, it's almost like my nervous system doesn't know how to handle it when I don't do things to ground myself at the top of my day. Grounding at the top of my day has led me to being able to ground myself throughout the day. So, perfect example, something at work came up the other day and it stressed me clean the F out. And in normal situations, I panic, I freak out, and I noticed that this entire week I actually cried last night because of something at work. And I don't do that. I don't ever do that. But you know what I didn't do, what I haven't been doing, is doing my grounding practice in the morning. Because that same scenario came up to me a couple of years back, but I was doing grounding processes at the time. And I just learned that I do things differently when I'm grounded at the top of my day. Number 4 thing that I learned in 2025 is that true love is found in self-discovery. I know we often hear you got to love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. We don't necessarily talk about how you get there, right? I do think that for me, learning to love myself, learning to accept myself has led me to being able to say no to the wrong people faster, whether it be potential friendships, potential partnerships, the wrong jobs. Learning to love myself has led to that. But learning to love myself was in self-discovery, being okay saying no to things that I don't like. I'll use the perfect example from back in the day when I lived in Chicago. I remember the time where my friend wanted to go to this club. It's a club in Chicago. I ain't gonna name it, but if you know Chicago and you black and you gay, you know this club when I describe it. All right. No. And you know, we gonna call it Jeffrey Pub, right? We love Jeffrey Pub because we love where black people be at. At this point in my life, this had to be like somewhere between 2017 to 2019, somewhere in there. One of my closest friends at the time wanted to go to Jeffrey Pub. I did not want to go. I remember saying I didn't want to go, and I was adamant about continuously saying I didn't want to go to this place quite often. I have my reasons. I will not share them here. I have my reasons, right? But one day my friend like, we can't go there because, you know, David don't want to go. And I remember feeling so bad, like I was doing something wrong by saying, no, I don't want to go to this place. And now I realize me not want to go to a place, y'all can still go. I don't feel bad because I don't enjoy a space, or I didn't enjoy the people, or I didn't enjoy something, whether it's food, people, the energy wasn't right. I don't like who I become in that space. That feeling of feeling as if I disappointed people no longer affects me today the way that it used to. But I think it's because I learned that it's okay to say no, and being able to say no or say yes is based on this big experiment we call life. It's multiple many experiments within life. In being uncomfortable or learning what you don't like, I think is one of the most important things you can do, to be honest. Okay, and then the 5th thing I learned in 2025, the 5th thing, number 5, is boundaries. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't even gonna get y'all a story. Y'all don't need no story. Y'all just need to know this. Just know this. Boundaries are necessary. And I've learned for me that boundaries, and for everybody, I say this all the time, boundaries are not to be a set of rules for everyone in your life to follow. You telling people you crossed the boundary does absolutely nothing, because it is not their job or responsibility to navigate your boundaries. Your job is to tell people what you expect from them, what you want, and let them say yes or no to that, right? So when we're thinking about boundaries, like, what are you going to do when somebody does or says something that you don't like? Do you get up and walk away? I'll use a perfect example. I think this was inside the book called Attached. No, I can't remember what book it is. If I figure it out, I'll tell y'all. But I remember I was reading the book and it's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, I believe is the actual book. But in the story, they talk about this girl, her mom, every single time she sits with her mom brings up dating. Like, oh, when are you going to find a man? When are you going to find a husband? The daughter tells her mom repeatedly, Mom, can you stop doing that? Mom, can you stop doing that? Mom, can you stop doing that? The mom doesn't stop. The girl decides for herself internally, when her mom does that, she's going to ask her one more time. And now when she does it, she's like, I'm going to get up and walk away. Right? Happens. Mom, of course, sit down, brings up dating. The daughter says, hey, we talked about this. You promised not to do this again. She gets up and she walks away. That was the boundary. The boundary was, I asked you not to do this, and you did it, and now I have to do something about it. It's not up to the other person to fix it, correct it. You have to have corrective action and corrective behavior. So she gets up and walks away. What this triggers to the mom is that it's not okay. What that's going to do is trigger the change in behavior and the things that you may or may not need. That don't mean these people are going to stay in your life. Some people go leave when you set boundaries. but they are necessary. And that's what I learned from me anyway in 2025. So to recap, the 5 things I learned in 2025 are my exits are not bad. Growth isn't sudden. Grounding is needed. True love is found in self-discovery. And boundaries are the 5 things I've learned. Now let's get through my favorite part, actually. And that's the 6 things we want to keep doing or start doing in 2026. The first one is very easy. It's very simple. Read a book. Read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book. Pick up a book. And I don't care if it's Harry Potter and you can have read Harry Potter back in high school, middle school, whatever. Pick it up and read it. I've read over 20 books in 2025, right? Between listening on Audible and actually physically reading. There's a Red Rising, Children of Blood and Bone series, Zodiac Academy series, so many other things. I currently just started Wheel of Time. I love it. It's really good. They're really long though. It's a really, really long read, as that's why we are in February. And I've literally only gotten through 1.5 of those books, but we're going to get through all of them. But read a book in 2026, y'all. It's beneficial to your brain, your capacity and ability to comprehend. Number 2, start that thing. You know what I'm talking about. That thing you've been thinking about for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 years. Do it. Try it. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be rough. But do it. Because it's necessary. Because joy and happiness is on the other side of that when you do it and you complete it. And or you can get that what if out of your system. You don't got to be worried about like, oh, I wonder if I took that trip. I wonder if I would have did this thing or if I went with this person. Wait, don't do the person thing. Sorry, that's a misspeak. No, this is really just about what you do, right? What's important to you. Like if you want to move to another city, do the thing so we can get that out your system, because in 2026, it's about living. Yeah? All right. And then number 3. This could have been things I learned in 2025, but I will try to bring it into 2026, so I saved it for y'all for this one. Speak to yourself kindly, meaning treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you. We often hear treat others the way that you want to be treated, but we don't treat ourselves with that same kindness, grace, and courtesy, right? So I'm encouraging you to do that in 2026. Speak to yourself with a little bit more kindness. One of the things I used to do when I would do something, I would mess up like, God damn, David, you're stupid. Or I would call myself an idiot, or I would get really down on myself. Funny thing is, the first time I ever sat with myself and was kind to myself, not first time, but the most blaring memory I have is when I broke up with an ex. We lived together and I was really, really sad about the choice to end the relationship. Because the love runs so deep. And I was taught growing up that love conquers all. And that love should have been enough for us to figure it out, but it wasn't. I'm sitting in my closet and I'm packing and I just started crying. And I remember I sat on the floor in my closet. I had a closet. If you live in Texas, you know the closets are massive. So I'm sitting on the floor in the closet, putting stuff in boxes. And I remember this is when I learned speaking to myself kinder was helpful. Out loud, I was saying things like, David, it's okay. We know this. I know, you know, this is hard. You knew this would be a hard thing. It's okay that it hurts. It's okay that you're sad. It's okay that this is not what you wanted. It's okay to be disappointed. In saying those things to myself, help me be more gracious and more kind to myself. When I do things, I stump my toe, I hit the wrong line, I say the wrong thing, I'm now able to give myself a lot more grace. So I'm encouraging you to bring that into 2026. Okay? Number 4, learn how to budget. Black people, learn how to budget. You can't be out here just throwing money around doing whatever. Financial literacy is a necessity in today's world, tomorrow's world, and next year's world. If you need to learn how to budget, hopefully I don't grow to regret this. Let me know. I'll be happy to help. I got some tips and tricks and whatever. Number 5, learn discipline. If you don't learn discipline, you're going to continue to fail, right? Discipline means sometimes getting up every morning doing the things you don't want to do. because that is going to ultimately help you drive the passion and things forward that you want to get done. So back in things, I'm telling you, push forward and do that thing that you wanted to do, that thing you wanted to start. This is what you do it, discipline. Then number 6, start telling people what you need from them. Stop assuming they know, because they probably don't. And if you don't tell them, how will they know? And if you tell them, you can stop guessing to see, wondering if they know, because you told them, so you know they know, right? So I'm going to say recap one more time for you. The 5 things we are leaving in 2025 is DL Men, Crocs, therapy talk for non-professionals, self-care as a form of running, 5 being your old self. 5 things I personally learned in 2025 is that my exits are not bad. Growth isn't sudden. Grounding is needed. True love is found in self-discovery. And I learned boundaries. Now, the 6 things we want to keep or start doing in 2026 are reading books. Start that thing you want to start. Speak to yourself kindly. Learn how to budget. Learn discipline. And start telling people what you need from them. So with that, what things are you leaving in 2025? What things did you learn in 2025? And what things are you going to start doing in 2026? I appreciate y'all as always. Thank you so much, cousin. Be blessed, and see y'all next time. Peace.